All right, we got only a couple of weeks left to the real NFL draft, which means we have two more mock drafts to do here on Bears Yard. And this is Bears Yard Mock Draft 9.0, 3 rounds mock draft with our Chicago Bears. So let's see if this is going to be one of those realistic mock drafts or will this be one of those crazy out of bounds mock drafts. Let's click on solo draft and let's ride. First pick in the draft in Cameron Ward. Armand Mimbao is the second pick. All right, we're not entertaining any trades in this draft. We're just going to make the 4 picks at 10, 39, 41, 72. As we look at the first 9 people off the board, Cam Ward, Armand Mimbao goes 2, Travis Hunter goes 3, Abdul Carter goes 4. That's kind of crazy. Okay. So at pick 10 here, we have Ashton Genty and Shadur Sanders on the board. And y'all know where I stand, right? If the Bears, when their pick comes up at 10, I want an immediate impact player. I want somebody that's going to come in and be an immediate starter for the team that will make an impact right out the gate game one. Which, again, as I've been saying over and over again in these mock drafts, we are looking at running back or defensive end. Well, Ashton Genty is sitting right there. Mike Green is sitting right there. Well, there are other defensive ends. I know James Pierce Jr. is sitting right there. Shamar Stewart, which I'm sorry, I can't take him seriously. Although Donovan Ezraku is there as well. But if we go back to best available, Ashton Genty, Jalen Walker is a name that we haven't really talked about, but he's a linebacker, but he's like a linebacker defensive end hybrid, kind of smallish for the Dennis Allen need, but I mean, you play him a linebacker and use him as a hybrid, then it doesn't really matter because he can go in and out or whatever. So that's a possibility. Also, Matthew Golding here, the receiver from Texas, is sitting here. But I think this pick is pretty obvious. I mean, you got the best running back in the draft staring you in the face at pick 10. And it's kind of hard not to go ahead and rock with 5'8", 211 pounds of Ashton Genty, one of the best running backs in recent memory. The last running back coming out of college that was as good as him was Saquon Barkley. So for the purposes of the mock draft, we're going to take the obvious choice here. We're going Ashton Genty, number 10 overall, and we're going to keep it moving to round 2. And once we get to round 2, we shall see who's the best available. Again, no trade. That leads us with Tyleik Williams, Jalen Milroe, Kenneth Grant, Donovan Jackson, and Xavier Watts. You're watching Bears Yard, your home of opinionated Chicago Bears talk Monday through Friday right here on YouTube. So if you don't want to miss an episode, hit that subscribe button. Obviously, with the running back out of the way, now that allows us to concentrate on the offensive line. I made a mistake in a previous mock draft thinking that the offensive linemen were deeper than the defensive linemen. And actually, I think the defensive linemen in this draft are going to be deeper than the offensive linemen. So I do believe that at this point, when we compare the best linemen available, you got Kenneth Grant and Tyleik Williams here, but you also have Josh Connolly Jr. here. You got Jonah Salanueva here. You got JT Tumoliau, Ariante Ezery, and such. But who do we pick here at pick 39? I guess theoretically it doesn't really matter because we have the next pick in the next 3 picks. So I think for the purposes here, we're going to go get our big, beefy nose tackle, especially considering that Matt Miller of ESPN said that the Bears are going to be looking at more DT than DE. Kenneth Grant, pretty good option here out of Michigan. The thumper that played next to Mason Graham, won a national championship a year ago. Kenneth Grant out of Michigan will be the pick, which then leads us to pick 41. And again, we only lost like one player, which was Donovan Jackson, but that's a good one. Probably would have picked him next. But if we look at linemen, we got Josh Connolly Jr., who is the best lineman here available. We got Josh Salanueva here, Wyatt Mullum out of West Virginia, and we have Ariante Ezery down here too. We also could go with the safety, Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame, but I think the Bears need to bolster the offensive line, and I would rather them do it higher in the draft than lower in the draft. So I think for this pick, we're going to go Josh Connolly Jr. out of Oregon since he is the best offensive lineman available on the board, and he is listed as tackle. So if for whatever reason Braxton Jones can't be ready by training camp or by the season, I should say, then we can put Connolly at left tackle and ride which leaves us one more pick in this mock draft. And who have we picked so far? So far, we had Ashton Genty, Kenneth Grant, Josh Connolly. Um, so safety is an option here. We can still bolster the offensive line or the defensive line. We still need an edge rusher, and Bradley Swanson out of LSU is sitting right here chilling. 6'3", 255. Apparently he has the athletic upside according to this, and he's one of the best players available on the board. And we do need an edge rusher. We also have Darius Alexander, but I've already picked the inside defensive lineman, so I'm not going to do that again. We could go with Eric Ayamanor, however you pronounce that, out of Stanford, the wide receiver, because we do need wide receiver help. So we have a bunch of options at 72, but if we're looking at the best available options here, we can stack the offensive lineman up with Wyatt Mullum. We can take the safety out of Penn State, Kevin Winston Jr. We can also maybe go with the wide receiver. So I think for the purposes of our draft here, I am going to take Braden Swinson of Swinson of LSU, because we do need an edge rusher, and he is the best available. Let me make sure there's not any other edge rushers that might be better than him here. Actually, Amon Gillett of Louisville is still here, and he has the size, I think 264 that Dennis Allen liked. And I remember looking at his rating in the NCAA college football game, and he's actually rated pretty highly in that game. So you know what, we're gonna throw a curveball here. Wait, no, we're not done. We got Josiah Stewart here out of Michigan, but he's a little lighter on the lighter side, but he is just an absolute monster. He had 12 sacks, I think, this past season at Michigan. Josiah Stewart. Like, also you got Jordan Burchett. So you got some pretty good rush options here for the Chicago Bears. Jordan Burchett definitely he had 8 sacks in 2024. Definitely more of the size that Dennis Allen craved, with him being almost 280 pounds. Josiah Stewart a little bit on the lighter side, but the production is there. Ashton Gillott, he's 264 with the RAS and 9.7. So I think we're going to go with another Ashton. So it's going to be two Ashtons, Ashton Genty and Ashton Gillott. Gillott, I don't know how you pronounce that, but Ashton Gillott of Louisville. We look back and see who we got. Ashton Genty of Boise State, the running back. Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Josh Connolly Jr., the offensive tackle out of Oregon. And Ashton Gillott, the edge out of Louisville. Let me know if you would have picked anybody differently, if you would have made any changes, different picks, things of that nature. And if you want more of my Bears thoughts and opinions, be sure to check the video that pops up in the top right corner. And have a good weekend. Bear down.